So in the last session, perhaps we understood that mind is like a highway which has three tracks, or the lane number one is just unwanted, unwelcome thought enters into the mind. And we don't have any control over it. Lane number two, where you listen to me as a teacher just for an hour, but you all are teachers. So that knowledge is placed on the lane number two. And that knowledge is realized in the lane number three. So when you forget the lane number two and three, then you are always in stress and in suffering. That is the problem.
No.
That is the problem. That is the problem.
Hello?
That is the problem. Now, let me take you to the journey of the lane number one and the two. A simple question I ask you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can anybody hear me?
yes, we can hear you.
I can't. I can hear you now. So
Yes. Yeah. So let us, does anyone say for example, the
I
Sophie,
can't hear Girish.
so Sophie
So
comes to you and let her open the mobile phone and connect with the mobile phone, and so that she can listen. I muted her otherwise. So, what is the question? Charlie comes to you and says
I can't. Okay, I'll listen with the phone. Oh, thank you. Okay.
So Charlie comes to you and she says that please start thinking bad about me. When I go tomorrow, when I come to you tomorrow, be angry over me. Does that happen anytime? Does that happen anytime? It never happens. We never say to anyone that you think bad about me. Please react to me when I meet you next time. Be angry over me. Say bad words against me. Does anyone say it? The answer is no. Then why my mind thinks about it? If you do not think and reflect in this way, nothing is going to happen. You have to think in this way. So then where is the why I think bad about anyone, why I get angry, why I react? It belongs to my mind. It belongs to my mind. It means I'm responsible. And if I'm responsible, then why don't I change? Why don't I change? Why don't I change? So the master says what the master Buddha, just see the teachings of the Buddha. Buddha says, do not believe in anything simply because you have heard it. Buddha says, do not believe in anything simply because it is spoken by many people. Do not believe in anything simply because it is found written in your books. Do not believe in anything because authority of your teachers and elders. Do not believe in the tradition because they have been handed down for many generations. So what should we do? We should contemplate, we should think. Even in the Eastern wisdom, you listen to it and then you sit down, you start thinking, okay, let me have this knowledge I received. Let me start thinking about it. And the belief pending inquiry is the way of the Eastern wisdom. We get easily carried away by thought, by feeling, and then the mind goes on creating these feelings of badness, feelings of reaction, feelings of anger, feelings of hesitation. Are you clear about it? I started the journey that if anyone until today of your life has come to you and told you that please start thinking bad about me, be angry over me, be upset with me, including your honey. But we have done it. We have not done once, but we have done millions of times. It has become our habit. It has become our personality. It has become our behavior. It has become our attitude. We don't want to change that attitude because it has created such a deep impression in my mind. I have taken for granted that you are bad. And that creates more problem to my life than to the others. So Buddha says, belief pending inquiry. I will inquire. I will find out whether it is true or not. If we do not find out, I do not analyze, I do not contemplate and reflect, I do not apply the knowledge, nothing, no change will happen. Our great master, Krishna, and another master, you can take Buddha and all the masters, they speak of the same principles belief, pending inquiry. Normally say, I follow Buddha, I follow this guy, I follow that teacher. It will not work. We should not be a blind follower. We should ask this question to our own mind that why I'm upset with a person, with a situation, with a local, with a time, with an event outside in the world. There is no reason and still I get upset. Nobody told me to get upset, but I get upset. That is the meaning. I'm living unconsciously, I'm living habitually, and I will continue to live habitually like this. There is no chance. There is no chance of the change. These lessons, if you listen to it again, to tell you, I heard one talk. I have all the audio talks of my masters. So one talk I did not understand. So I told my mind, okay, you did not understand. So I will listen 10 times, 10 hours. And ultimately I got the clue. I got it. Your mind has to decide where you want to go. And if the mind is not changing, so what is that? What we have been discussed until now means what? The truth is important. The truth of who am I is the most important. It is not, it is universal, not limited by age, sex, gender, time, place, event, history. Forget all everything. Find out that truth which cannot be falsified. That is who we are. And that is what we say, which cannot be falsified, is the pure consciousness, is the real self of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. That is what the Eastern wisdom says to us, inspires us to find the truth. You follow the path, start believing, but belief should be pending the inquiry. Don't get carried away by any other false notion except the truth. And that is where we reach to the real self. So the teacher teaches, it invokes the principles, it explains it, but then I have to contemplate and reflect on it. If I do not contemplate and reflect, I told you, lane number one will continue to have unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, which will cause you tremendous amount of stress, anxiety, duality, conflict. I need not to change it. I need not to suppress it. I need not to force. I have to switch on to the lane number two. Let me have this knowledge first. So, by contemplation and reflection, if you become clear, lane number one will be weakened so much so that it will not create any sense of stress and suffering. So, we are not talking of the suppression. We are not talking of the control. We are not talking of uh, how to control the wandering mind. I move to the lane number two. So why the truth is important? Because it makes me free from the ignorance, delusion, misunderstanding. And I have told you the one misunderstanding. No one tells you to think bad about me, but I think bad about you. And we keep on doing it. So when the pressure of those impressions in the lane number two goes beyond the limit, what is the result? Divorce. And what should be done? Not divorce an individual, divorce your mind. But I'm not ready for it. I don't want to agree. Why I don't want to agree? The lane number one is so deep. It has such an indelible impression in my life that I don't want to change. Are you getting it? I believe that even listening to this, your mind has become lighter and relaxed. Oh, yes, yes, yes. If you say yes. If you say no, how can you say, how dare you say? The others are so bad. I know it happens. It happens to them. The truth is important because it never changes. It remains as it is in time, in place, in locations, in relations. It is an unchanging reality. It is all pervading. That is what we want to find out. Knowledge will remain knowledge. I know she is Sophie. Anne knows she is Sophie. Charlie knows she is Sophie. John knows she is Sophie. Mead knows she is Sophie. That's a knowledge. Knowledge will not never change. But we superimpose over that knowledge without understanding. Then she is bad or good, and she's good, long list, which is not required. Another thing that we should understand, Eastern wisdom is a search for that real self, or that truth which is existence, cannot be falsified, cannot be destroyed. When our mind starts working, contemplating, and reflecting, okay, my mind is saying he or she is bad or she is bad. I become angry, I get upset. No, no, I have to find out what is the truth that cannot be destroyed, that cannot be falsified. Your mind will calm down. You need not to stop the wandering mind. The wandering mind will stop by itself. Our way of thinking, the pattern we have been thinking is heavily conditioned by the culture, by the society, by the relations, and that needs to change. What we say about the Eastern wisdom, who wrote, when these principles are written, where it is written does not matter. Whether it is written in the Himalayas or whether it is written in US or in India, it does not matter at all. Who wrote it, it does not matter. It says you have to find out the truth that never changes, that cannot be falsified. By the chance, India became a land, and for the last 6,000 years, they have found that understanding. Another point, that those who have realized the real self, their expressions may be different, but the principles are the same. Absolute truth is real self. Real self is pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. In one or the other way, everyone, every teacher talks about the same thing. So last time when we did the practice, we understood the three lanes of the highways of the mind. We need not to worry about the lane number one, unwanted, unwelcome thought comes. We have to pay attention to the lane number two, where the knowledge is placed. You don't worry about the darkness. You are more concerned, where is the switch? Let me switch on. You need not to worry, how bad is my honey or anyone's, for the sake of understanding. I have to switch on. I need not to even think how bad or good is my honey. Darkness, you enter into your home in the night and you know where is the switch. You switch on. That is the lane number two. We forget it. And then what happens? The moment you stick to the lane number two, lane number three is the realized state in the mind. That real self is reflected in the mind, and you find, yes, that is how the master explains. How the master explains, one master, having understood this ideas, this knowledge, one master says, Manohi devidham proktam shuddham cha ashuddham eva cha. Mind is of two types, pure and the impure. So you can easily make out the impure mind makes unnecessary claims. You are bad, you are good, you are right, you are wrong. Nobody declared that. So that is the impure mind. So why we say impure mind? So that our mind can easily understand this impure mind is not required in my life. I should not think, speak, and act out of the impure. For the sake of understanding. And the pure mind, once pure, how the pure mind is attained? By knowledge, by understanding, followed by the practice. By the practice. Ashuddham kama sankalpam, shuddham kama vivarjitam. Ashuddham. So how the mind becomes impure? Go back to the lane number one. Your mind has declared this beer guy is bad or good, even bad or good. You give a label, adjective. Black sweater. Sweater has a name in the shape. Does the black has a shape name? Shape? The black, no color has a shape. Having understood this adjective, Ashaddham Kama Sankalpam, I first relate myself to you based on likes and dislikes, then I create a thinking that you are bad or good. First, I create an emotional baggage, then only you are honey or you are not. But after creating that emotional baggage, I create a preferences of likes and dislikes, and that likes and dislikes continues and it makes the mind impure. This is what the master is saying. What master is saying? Ashuddham kama sankalpam. I project. My mind says I like you, then I project all the thoughts and ideas and action pertaining to the likes. So all those thoughts and ideas projects a happiness with you because like is already present in the mind. Dislike is present in the mind, opposite projection. That makes the mind impure. The impure mind contains the anxiety, duality, conflict, delusion, reaction, anger, upset, stress, all kinds of mental and emotional disorders. So we start living with that ideas and the thoughts with the wrong notion. And then what is the result? Result is suffering. Then it is easy to blame others. I am suffering because of you. No one is responsible for my stress and suffering except my own mind, because my own mind, no one. When your mind is saturated, clear, that no one in the world outside is responsible for my stress and suffering, you are a seeker of Eastern wisdom. Until then, your mind will swing like a pendulum. 1 week, 1 hour in a session, you will say, yes, I have understood. After the session, the mind says, why, honey, why you disturb me? I was attending a lesson. You start blaming others. I told you before also. No one tells you, please. Next day you say, how bad I am, react to me, become angry. Who says? My mind says. No one says. Even the mosquito. Forget about others. But we start thinking in that way. So unless and until the mind says no one is responsible for my stress and suffering, including grief and etc., delusion, anxiety, reaction, mind is 100% clear, you are a seeker and you will definitely succeed. So in this journey, I'm skipping how to become a seeker. We will continue our journey with what this teacher teaches. So I picked up the Gita again. So close your eyes. Let us start our practice. Eyes are closed. Position of the body. You see, where I am giving you the instruction, that is nothing but the knowledge. The thought is a product of knowledge. So when I say close your eyes, that is one piece of knowledge. You follow it. That is lane number 2. So what is the lane number 1? Do nothing. Let it continue to have unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. Don't worry about it. Don't participate into it. Position of the body is comfortable. The moment you change the position of the body, it is the lane number 1 changes the position. Once you are comfortable, why to change? Eyes are closed. And now being comfortable. Now pay attention. Every phrase and instruction is the lane number 2. I'm not there. Think, just know that I'm absent. Lane number 2 is the instructions. Mind moves to the neck joint, knowledge, by awareness. It then experiences sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Lane number 3. Just pay attention. You are now, your mind follows the knowledge, or mind follows the lane number 1, is your choice. That I do not have any control. No one has a control in the world. Whether you think good of me or you think bad of me, no one. Move the mind and the shoulder joints, be there. Feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Do you see? All the 3 lanes are, you are aware of it. Hip joint, be there. Knowledge. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness is your experience. Even though you experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness, you still have the lane number 1. You don't worry about it. So again, we go little deeper to make this mind aware of the knowledge by the mantra. So mentally you say, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Meaning, let everyone be happy. So now the lane number 2, where the knowledge is being understood. That the happiness is our essential nature of everyone, of every living species on the earth. All their action, movement, judgment aims at happiness. Lane number 1 aims at more conflict, more stress, more suffering. What are you doing with the lane number 1? You're doing nothing. Let them come. You continue to come. I will continue my journey. Sarve Santu Niramaya. We are replacing. I will tell you. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Meaning, let everyone be in the state of well-being. Everyone is seeking the state of the well-being. Now, how you change the mind? Or I mean to say, how you stick to the lane number 2? That everyone is seeking the state of well-being or happiness. Because I am on the path of the Eastern wisdom, my approach must be different. My approach of peace and happiness should not be directed by the lane number one. Then what happens to? You're always calm. You're not angry, you're not upset, you're not reacting. See that? It is not a big deal. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu means let everyone be blessed. The blessing and the grace should fall upon each and every one. The lane number two is pushing you, no, accept this one. And lane number two says, no, grace and the blessing should fall upon each and every one. The more the knowledge is clear, the lane number two, you are going to weaken it. And it will put you into the state of the calmness. By understanding, by contemplation. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhave. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhave. Let none suffer from misery in this world. Let none suffer from any suffering. Why? That is what we have understood today. No one says that you blame me, you complain against me, you react to me, you fight with me, you become a. No one says. Now apply this. Everyone should be free from the suffering. That mind is ready to be a seeker. The seeker never fails. We are still in the lane number two. So when you are still in the lane number two, what happens? You are aware of sensation, comfort, and steadiness in the body. You are also aware of the lane number one and two and three. How do you know that? You are able to maintain your sensation, comfort, and steadiness. It's a lane number three. And the two is constantly aware of it. The two is also aware of the lane number one. Unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are there. So, what we say, look at the breath. Look at the breath. That is the knowledge. Are you looking at the breath? Are you aware of it? Do you know the breath goes in and comes out? In and out? Yes, the breath goes in and out. Yes, I see that. So keep on looking, keep on seeing the breath going in and out. No change. So we say no change. And you feel the sensation. What it means, if there is a change, the lane number two interferes. Lane number two is purely knowledge. It has no action at all. You are looking at the breath, and you know the breath is going in and out. So, moment the breath goes in and before it comes out, the lane number one interferes. There is no interference. Both lanes are independent. But because I feel it, why I feel it? Why I start thinking like this. But why I start thinking? It is habit, instinctive and impulsive nature. My mind has made it clear that this is the way I think and that is right. So, what should we do? Just return again to the breath that is going in and out. You feel the sensation of the breath. So every time you the knowledge, no the sensation. When I say feel the sensation of the breath, that is also a knowledge. You know the breath is going in and out. In between there is some interference, you feel. It means layer number one overpowers that knowledge and understanding. Overpowers means like forgetfulness, ignorance, misunderstanding, wrong ideas. In order to remain on the lane number two means the knowledge you drop when the breath goes in. Breath goes in, you drop the in one. You're counting the breath. When the breath comes out one. Just dropping means in a fraction of a second you recognize. You recognize, you means the mind. Recognize in one, out one, into, out two. Go on counting the breath and check if the counting is sometime what will happen, the counting stops because of lane number one. You forget because of lane number one. You enter into fancies. Why? Lane number one. So you are simply separating. The moment you separate, you are free. Go on counting the breath. You're just counting the breath. You know the breath is there. You know the breath is moving. You know it is going in. So you count in one. Your breath coming out one. Why we are counting? To recognize that I continue to remain aware, even if the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are there, and you are aware of them. So, aware of them does not mean that you get carried away. You are weakening that impact of the impure mind. How long it takes depends on you. Yes, stop the counting and return again only to the awareness of the breath. What is awareness of the breath? You know the breath is going in and out. There is no change. And you feel the sensation of the breath. It is very clear, it should be very clear to you that if the lane number one interferes, you have to simply switch on to the lane number two without any reaction or anger or hesitation. Oh, I forgot. Let me recall what I'm doing. No, I'm not doing anything. I simply know the breath is going in and out. I feel the sensation of the breath, and then no change. Now leave that. Look at the head and the neck. This is the knowledge. You are looking. You are aware. And what is your experience? Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. This is lane number three. Good and bad experiences both are present in the mind. Knowledge we get through the same mind. Mind moves on the right arm means you know the right arm. From the shoulder to the fingertips, no action is required. Experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Mind knows the left arm. If I say so, nose means you are aware. Yeah, it goes there. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Highway of the mind. Three lanes are there. They are independent, they are interconnected. The mind knows the chest and the belly in the front. You are there, you experience sensation. That is the knowledge plus experience. Relaxation and stillness. Right leg, sensation, relaxation and stillness. Left leg, sensation, relaxation and stillness. The entire body. You simply know your entire body. You are aware of it. You're not doing anything, and you experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now, when I say now, do nothing, you're not doing anything, but lane number one will continue to have thoughts, feeling, images, let it have. You are not doing anything. Lane number two knows, it means you have a knowledge that you are not doing anything. So what happens? You separate lane one by knowledge. The moment you separate, you weaken the impurity. Result is mindfulness. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. Very good. How are you, Sophie?
I'm very good. Thank you, Girish. I had a very good meditation.
Very good meditation. Very good. Listen to it again and again. How are you, Charlie?
I'm well. I felt like I was present, but I started to slip away. I was watching, but I was getting further and further and further away.
Yeah, further away in the state of almost kind of an emptiness. That is good. But if we get carried away by the lane number one, I think you all are clear. Then we have Lot of challenges. Wonderful. So how are you, Anne? And then we will go to meet.
Yeah, I feel very good. Calm and relaxed, except at the end I drifted off all of a sudden a bit.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
it happens. We drift, but lane number 2 says, I know you drifted, so you come back.
right.
And the lane number 2 says, no, I don't know what is happening to me, so you are already in the lane number 1. Knowing, awareness, experience, whatever you say, that is how the Eastern wisdom starts. So how are you, me?
What I did was I went to one of your other meditations.
Very good.
In doing that, I discovered that my sound was off and I didn't know it. So I got it turned back on, and then I finished and came back to be with you. Thank you.
Number 1. That is what happens. The lane number 1 not only does these smaller issues which we are not aware and we get carried away. It belongs to the computer. It did not belong to any living person. And if it belonged to some living person, then the mind keeps on thinking how bad, how good, and how you see that how easy it is to know it. And to know it means I keep that knowledge all the time. As long as you are in the house, you know 100% that you are in the house. So I know that I am in the day number 2, come what may. And if you do it, you are there. No problem. I'm going to send you these files so you can listen to it. That is all. Thank you very much.